In the first episode of Season 3 of The White Lotus, Jason Isaac's character Timothy Ratliff seems to be in a bit of trouble. The show jumps ahead to Timothy Ratliff and his dysfunctional family arriving for their vacation after a shocking shooting at the White Lotus Thai Resort at the beginning of The White Lotus Season 3, Episode 1. The resort's rules, such as not using cell phones in public places, surprise the Ratliffs. Even though Timothy appears to be a prosperous man, it becomes evident throughout the episode that he has secrets to conceal. Timothy's assistant phones him a few times during The White Lotus Season 3, Episode 1, telling him that a well-known journalist, Bart Nixon of the Wall Street Journal, wants to talk to him about an urgent issue. After stopping his family's supper to answer the journalist's calls, Timothy finds he has fallen into a kind of trap. Nixon probes Timothy about a man named Kenneth Nguyen, asking if he collaborated with him in 2018 to establish the ShKell Fund. Nixon discloses that he is looking into Nguyen's ties to the Bruneian administration. An investigation into Timothy's former business partner's ShKell Fund and relationship with the Bruneian government is underway. Bart Nixon of the Wall Street Journal is conducting an investigation into Timothy's former business partner, Kenneth Nguyen, in the Season 3 premiere of The White Lotus. Timothy admits to Nixon over the phone that he hasn't seen or spoken to Kenny in at least 4 years, despite knowing that he went to Brunei, a tiny nation in Southeast Asia. Even though they haven't spoken in a while, this alone indicates to Nixon that Timothy and Kenny seem to get along well. That week, Nixon tells Timothy he will run the story in the Wall Street Journal. After being taken by surprise by Nixon during the phone call, Timothy plays it off quite well, but he starts to worry right away and phones Kenny. When Kenny doesn't pick up, Timothy leaves him a message explaining the situation and letting him know that he and ShKell are being investigated by the Wall Street Journal. After the call, Timothy starts acting like a walking stress case and avoids answering any more inquiries from his family. Even his drug-dependent wife, Victoria, Parker Posey, is unaware of Timothy's relationship with Kenny and the alleged illicit activity involving ShKell and the Bruneian government. Season 3 hints for The White Lotus. Timothy and ShKell engaged in illicit activities based on the minimal information revealed in The White Lotus Season 3 premiere. It looks like whatever ShKell is, it's something illicit. The most plausible solution is that it's a money laundering scheme set up by Kenny with Timothy's help. Regarding the association with the Bruneian government, it is possible that the fund is disguised as a tax-exempt political fund, such as a Political Action Committee, PAC. The specifics of ShKell's identity and the roles played by Timothy and Kenny are still unclear. The key takeaway is that Timothy might end up paying the price. After just one episode of The White Lotus Season 3, it is evident that Timothy is a wealthy man, although it is unclear exactly how he came to be so affluent. At the end of the episode, when Victoria tells him that he's a decent guy and that everything they have in their good life is because of him, he looks terribly remorseful. This suggests that a significant portion of ShKell's personal fortune may have come from this source, meaning that if Kenny is found out, Timothy might lose everything. Since Kenny hasn't been introduced in Season 3 of The White Lotus, fans will have to wait to see how, if at all, he responds to Timothy's phone call. Are the gunshots in the opening scene of The White Lotus Season 3 related to Timothy's ShKell secret? The White Lotus Season 3 premiere's opening gunfire is still shrouded in mystery. The brief teaser video leaves a number of concerns unresolved, like who is shooting, whose body is submerged in the water, and whether the gunshot is the consequence of a heist, terrorist attack, or another incident. After one episode of Season 3 of The White Lotus, the two main theories are that either Timothy or Rick Hatchett, played by Walton Goggins, is involved in the shooting and appears to have his own sinister plans. Future episodes of The White Lotus will reveal much more about these characters.